Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning. I hope you all had a good weekend. Today I'm going to do a live as part of the Thyroid Series. So we're going to be discussing thyroid, in particular hypothyroidism, which is underactive thyroid, Hashimoto, and whether the current prescription medication that's given to people with underactive thyroid is correct, or whether we're being overtreated or undertreated, and what to do about that. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stefania. I'm an advanced personal trainer with specialization in diabetes and obesity, as well as thyroid. I've got what qualifies me even more about in respect of thyroid is the fact that I myself have got Hashimoto, which is a thyroid autoimmune disorder, as well as celiac disease, which is gluten allergy, again autoimmune. And I've been fighting underactive thyroid for the last 20 years, and despite everything, I've managed to halve my thyroid, well, less than half now, my thyroid medication in the last 3-4 years. So I've got first-hand experience on dealing with Hashimoto and underactive thyroid. Hi, Katya, which is a major thing, because a lot of doctors don't suffer from underactive thyroid, so they don't understand what it feels like. A lot of endocrinologists don't suffer from that and just go again by what they're told to prescribe, and very often they're very dismissive of what people with hypothyroidism say. So let's get going. First of all, I wanted to cover a thing. Is thyroid disease being overtreated? The reason I'm asking this is because there was an article a week or so ago on BBC News that was saying there was apparently some expert said that thyroid disease was being overtreated. Now, this, of course, is again one of those typical examples when things have been taken totally out of context, and the news, if it creates good ratings and it's going to sell, journalists will use that just to sell more. Yeah, but actually totally distorts the reality. So, on the so-called experts on this article, they were saying that doctors are prescribing far too easily prescribing thyroid treatment, which is normally levothyroxine T4 hormone, to people with mild hypothyroidism. Right, so first of all, what do they mean by mild? Yeah, on the article, there was nowhere in the article where it specified what they meant by mild hypothyroidism. Yeah, I mean, the range itself on thyroid test goes from 0.2 to 4.5, and even some labs 5.5, which is an astronomical range. Hi, David, is an absolutely astronomical range. So what does mild mean? Does it mean when you're at 4? I mean, that most people, when they register 4 on the range for TSH, they are feeling absolutely like crap. So what does it mean? Yeah, so there was no clarification what they meant by mild. So, and the whole thing is centered on the fact that doctors are prescribing thyroid medication willy-nilly. Well, I'm telling you one thing. In my experience of 20 years dealing with thyroid, hypothyroidism, and Hashimoto myself, I had to fight for every single thing, every single test, every single medication I got from the doctor, because they were unwilling to prescribe, let alone willing to prescribe. Yeah, so there's two different things you need to put in context. Now, there's hypothyroidism, which is being caused by your thyroid becoming suddenly sluggish, so slowing down, not working optimally. But you've got 2 thyroid glands, still in your body. Yeah, so you got the thyroids there, they're just not working optimally. Versus hypothyroidism caused by the fact that one of your thyroid is being removed, or part of one thyroid is being removed. Yeah, so when would the thyroid be removed, or why would the thyroid be removed? Well, if you develop a goiter, that's a lump on the thyroid, very often, or at least in the old days, I don't know what they do these days, but very often they used to remove the lump, and alongside that the part of the thyroid where the lump was attached. In my give you an example, 20 years ago when I had the goiter, they removed on my right side, they removed 80% of a thyroid gland, so I was left with 20% only. Yeah, so if you had an operation to remove all or part of one of your thyroid glands, then your hypothyroidism or underactive thyroid is caused by the fact you haven't got 2 glands, you only got 1 and a bit. Yeah, so in that case, absolutely, you're gonna need medication. You cannot stay without medication. You know, the remaining thyroid and a bit will not be able to produce enough hormone to make up for the job of 2 thyroids. Yeah, so in that case, there is no way you can stay without medication. This is what annoyed me when I read this article, because it did make no differentiation about hypothyroidism caused by sluggish thyroid versus hypothyroidism caused by removal of part of a whole thyroid. Yeah, first of all, this is where you get fake news. You know, news adjusted, taken out of context just to make a big sensational thing to sell more papers. Yeah, so this is really annoying when we do that. But there's another part, which could be that your hypothyroidism is being caused by Hashimoto. Yeah, so Hashimoto is the autoimmune version of underactive thyroid. Basically what happens is there are certain circumstances whereby through genetic predisposition, diet and lifestyle, your body starts attacking your thyroid. So your immune system mistakes your thyroid for a bad organism and it attacks it, and over a period of time, we're talking years, not weeks, your thyroid gets destroyed a little bit more and more, until eventually there's less of a thyroid. In my case, over a period of 15 years before I realized that Hashimoto, because in those days they didn't used to test you, even these days they don't bother testing you, I lost my whole left thyroid. Yeah, Hashimoto destroyed my left thyroid. The NHS took 80% of my right thyroid, so I'm left with 20% of one thyroid. Yeah, so if you got Hashimoto, and you wouldn't know unless you test for that, and I'm going to cover later on what tests you can do to find out, your underactive thyroid is being caused by the fact your thyroid glands are being attacked by your immune system, which means they're being destroyed little by little. Yeah, so in those cases, Hashimoto, with the destruction of a thyroid and having had an operation to remove part of your thyroid gland, you must have medication. Your body will not be able to produce enough thyroid hormone, T4. Yeah, if your thyroid is gone sluggish, you got 2 active thyroid, you don't suffer from Hashimoto, all of a sudden the thyroid has gone down, is not functioning properly, and your level T4 has dropped, then in that case, yes, you can fix it without medication. So there are different ways, the different reasons why the thyroid may go sluggish. I'm going to cover in a second. Yeah, but in that case, and only in that case, if your thyroid is gone sluggish, you still got 2 functioning thyroids, do the changes, lifestyle changes, diet changes, before you go to the doctor and ask for medication. Yeah, there will be cases where things is so bad, the thyroid is so low, that you may need to get a little booster, you know, and the doctor might give you the minimum prescription 25 micrograms daily for a little bit, just to boost your thyroid, bring it up a little bit. There might be a situation like that, but before you get down that road, you can try to fix yourself. If that fails, then yes, you might need the booster. Yeah, okay, so I want to put that article the BBC wrote in context, because it was totally out of context and it gave wrong information, you know, and the last thing we need is for a doctor to start worrying about prescribing thyroxine. Otherwise, the poor people like myself who rely on that medication are going to be totally screwed. Yeah. Okay, so the issue with thyroid as well is not just that the doctor are not prescribing enough thyroid medication, is the fact that they're prescribing the wrong thyroid medication. So let me explain something to you very, very quickly. So there are 2 things the doctor tests to determine whether your thyroid is underactive. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. That's basically when the body is telling your thyroid, hey, I need thyroxine here, I'm sluggish, I need help here, you know, things are not working properly, I haven't got enough T4, I need you to produce more hormone. Yeah, so that's a scream, if you like. Yeah, going from your pituitary gland to your thyroid gland, say, come on, I need you to give me more. And then T4, which is the hormone that is secreted by your thyroid gland. Yeah, that's supposedly to help you. The reality is T4 is an inactive form of a thyroid hormone. What does it mean? It means your body can't use it as it is. It cannot use it. It needs to convert it to the active form called T3. This conversion happens primarily in the liver. Yeah. So what do the NHS do? They test you for TSH, so the screaming, yeah, that indicates your thyroid is sluggish, and the levels of T4, how much hormone T4 you got circulating in your blood. So you could have, plenty T4. If you got enough T4, your TSH level will be fine, because it means, you got enough circulating hormone. The pituitary gland will not be screaming at the thyroid, give me more, because there's enough in the blood, yeah. But if you don't convert T4 to T3 efficiently, yeah, which is very, very common for various reasons, yeah, then you will feel totally knackered. So you will have all the symptoms, hypothyroid gland, but the blood test will say you're absolutely fine. So your doctor will say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need anything, but you're saying, you can't get out of bed, you're struggling to get out of bed, you're losing hair in chunks, you get joint pains, you're feeling cold all the time, totally exhausted. Yeah, there's various things that happens with the hypothyroid, and basically feeling like depressed. You're just feeling like you haven't got the oomph, yeah, to get up and go at all, and you just can't be bothered to do anything. It's a total state of mind, total exhaustion. And the doctor said, you're fine, there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, because they don't test everything. So T3 is the hormone that determines whether you are going to feel well or not. Yeah. So the problem is this: the doctor, even if your test results show that your thyroid is sluggish, so your TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is high, so the scream is high, meaning that you haven't got enough T4 hormone, the doctor will prescribe, guess what, more T4. Yeah. So, and again, if you can't convert this T4 to T3, they can prescribe all the T4 they want. You're still gonna feeling like crap because the conversion is not right. So NHS do not test for T3. Reason why? Because they cannot give you the pill to fix the T3. They will only prescribe T4. What you need, and what most people with hypothyroid gland, especially if it's due to the thyroid gland has been removed, or you got Hashimoto, will very often need T3. The only way to be tested for T3 and to get T3 medication is privately. Yeah, so that I understand that. Yeah, so make sure you understand that. So medication, the doctor prescribing medication accurately, well, they only prescribe what they're allowed to prescribe, so that's the problem. So it's not adequate prescription or medication. And number two, no, it's not true that prescribing T4 willy-nilly, because you got to fight for it most of the time. Yeah. And if you got the thyroid removed, they will prescribe you straight away. Yeah. But then they don't review it regularly enough. So that's where the problem is. They will put you in review every 6 months. Yeah. For every change in prescription, it takes about 6 weeks for the thyroid to respond. So if the prescription they're giving you is too low, they will let you suffer for 6 months before they're going to do anything about it. And if it's too high, even worse, because then you're going to start going hyper, which some people might feel, oh, it's a good thing. No, it's not good, because the energy you get is not good energy. It's a very nervous, anxious energy. And your heart is going to beat, super fast. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to get diarrhea, all sorts of things with overactive thyroid. Yeah. So that's the issue with doctors. So incorrect medication or not appropriate medication. The tests they do are not correct. Yeah, they only marginal tests. They don't test the right things. Yeah, and there's also things you need to notice is what diet you're on. So your thyroid gets affected by many things. Yeah. There are certain diets, and this is something I found out recently. There's still going to be some more research that needs to be done on this. If you're following a ketogenic diet, meaning very low carb, yeah, or a carnivore diet like myself, so eating only animal product, meat only, mainly, your T3, your requirement for T3, the active form of hormone, thyroid, are lower than somebody who eats a normal diet with higher carbohydrates. Yeah, and this is something that is being looked into at the moment. There's a few studies going through. There's still a lot of research that needs to be done there, but this goes along the lines of other studies that have confirmed that people with ketogenic or even carnivore diet, even more so, I've got lower requirement for vitamin C, because of course vitamin C competes with the glucose, yeah, in the body. So if you got high carbohydrate diet, then of course you have high glucose level coming in, and the body competes with vitamin C, so you have to have higher requirement of vitamin C. With carnivores and keto, the requirement of vitamin C are lower, and it appears that T3 levels are also requirements are lower in a ketogenic and carnivore diet, which means that if you supplement with too much T3, then your body is going to go, your thyroid gland is going to be hyper, and it's going to screw up the whole system. Yeah, and I can somewhat attest to that myself, in respect that I'm on T3 plus T4 medication, privately, obviously, because NHS won't prescribe T3, and since going ketogenic, so I went ketogenic about 5 years ago, and I dropped my thyroid medication from 225 micrograms a day to about 125 micrograms a day. And since going carnivore, I've dropped further by another down to 80 micrograms of thyroxine a day. Yeah, so that may not sound like a huge drop to you, but I'm telling you, I've only got 20% one thyroid gland left. Yeah, so this is how much impact of diet can have on your thyroid. But there's other things that impact your thyroid, which I'm going to cover in a second. So my advice to you in respect of, do you need medication, do you not need medication? If you've got Hashimoto, so you've been tested for Hashimoto, you've got Hashimoto disorder, or you've had your thyroid, one or part of a thyroid removed surgically because there was a lump in there, you definitely need medication. Now, does the medication the doctor give you is good? Well, probably not. It's not going to be sufficient, yeah, because you're probably going to need T3 as well. It's very, very common to need T3, so you need to test for that privately. I'm going to explain to you how you test for that. Yeah. If, however, your thyroid becomes like you've got two thyroid glands, no surgical removal, and it's become sluggish all of a sudden, first thing that you need to test is your full thyroid function, including T3 and including antibodies, so you can determine straight away if you got Hashimoto in the background before you get the whole thyroid destroyed, yeah, like it happened to me. And then from that you can determine whether it's just gone sluggish because your T3 is a little bit low and it's conversion issue, or whether you got Hashimoto, or if those one come all back fine and it's only a little bit the T4 that's a little bit sluggish, then that's totally fixable completely through diet and lifestyle changes. And then don't take medication unless you really, really need it. Yeah. And if you're on medication and you still feel like crap, you've got to go behind. The doctor does not know how you feel. Yeah. If you're feeling like crap in your medication, the doctor tells you your blood tests are fine, that, I'm sorry, that is bull. Yeah. The doctor tests, as I say, they only test, half of the equation. The minimal half is totally pointless. Yeah, the most important part, the T3, the active hormone, is actually gonna get your metabolism moving. It doesn't get tested at all on NHS, in which case you need to test that. And then I can guarantee you 99% of the times you test that and that will be too low, and then you can take action and have it increased through medication. You need medication if you haven't got two thyroids functioning. Yeah, so let's cover what kind of things are impacting the thyroid function. Yeah, so if you discover that your thyroid is gone sluggish and you want to try to fix it, yeah, and even, to be honest with you, even if you're on medication like myself, I said I've been on medication for 20 years to remove my thyroid, and through Hashimoto they destroyed my left thyroid completely, and the NHS decided to slice my right thyroid and take away 80% of that together with a lump. I've ended up with very little thyroid circulating in my body, yeah, but I still managed to decrease from 225 micrograms of thyroid medication a day to just 80, and that's purely through diet and exercise, lifestyle changes. Yeah, and if I can do that with just 20% of a thyroid, imagine what you can do if you got more than what I've got. Yeah, you can, and that will make you feel totally different. It's a massive, it's night and day. When you fix your thyroid, it's night and day. Energy levels, fat loss, yeah, head, meaning that your clarity, you got depression comes off. There's so many things. Your body temp, everything improves. So what impacts the thyroid function? So first of all, diet is a big one. If you suffer from underactive thyroid, whether it's just something that's a bit sluggish, or whether you actually have medication because your thyroid removed, or you got Hashimoto, you must eliminate immediately. This is immediately, without and forever, gluten. Gluten is being linked to thyroid problems, and autoimmune problems as well. That has to come out. And gluten is everywhere. Processed food is, even in meat, they put in, for God's sake, they put gluten in meat, like sausages and burgers. So please read the back of your packaging. Don't touch gluten, because that will make it worse. If your thyroid is sluggish, you have gluten, you're done. It's going to get worse. It's never going to get better. It doesn't matter how much medication you take. The other things that's affecting thyroid as well is soy. So any type of soy products. So if you're vegans, guys, you need to find another way to get your protein. Please don't use soy if you suffer from underactive thyroid or Hashimoto. And one reason why, because soy is very high in phytoestrogens, which I'm going to cover later on, why phytoestrogens are a big problem for thyroid as well. Okay, so if you just have underactive thyroid is sluggish, take those two out of your diet: gluten and soy. If you have Hashimoto, that's autoimmune disorder, there's two more things you have to remove as a must immediately and never reintroduce again. The other thing is dairy product, all type of dairy products, out, completely gone forever. And your nightshades vegetable. What are nightshades vegetables? So you got peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, aubergines, and all the spices deriving from type of peppers like chilies, paprika, out. Those nightshade vegetables are very detrimental to the thyroid, and especially for autoimmune as well. So let's go back into that. Or if you got Hashimoto, or you've had your part of your thyroid removed, so your thyroid is a very weakened state because you only got part of a thyroid removed, you got to remove from your diet gluten, soy, any soy products, dairy, nightshade vegetables. Okay. And if you've got thyroid just gone sluggish, you still got to functioning thyroid, you must remove as a bare minimum gluten and soy. That's it, gone forever. It's not for little bit, guys. Understand, it's forever. Because if you start having gluten again, your thyroid will go sluggish again. Okay? So that's the first thing for diet side of thing. What else can cause problem with your impact your thyroid function from the diet end of things is deficiencies, particularly deficiency in certain minerals and certain vitamins. So you got selenium is one of the minerals that really helps the thyroid work properly. Iodine helps the thyroid work properly. Zinc helps the thyroid work properly. And vitamin D, these are some of the B vitamins as well. This is some of the major vitamins and mineral deficiencies that cause the thyroid to go sluggish. So you need to make sure that part of your diet, regular diet, and again, it's got to come from real food. It cannot come from processed food. What is real food? Anything that used to swim, walk, fly, or that grew from a tree or grew from the ground. Okay, so burgers didn't used to walk. So neither did the sausages. The animals used to. Same with potatoes and stuff like that. Chips versus potato. Cereals. I mean, when was the last time you saw Cocoa Pops growing from the ground? Never happened. Protein bars. Oh no, out, gone. So fly, walk, swim, grow from tree or grow from the ground. That's the only thing you're allowed to eat. That's proper real food. Okay, so from the diet side, that's the one. So deficiency mineral vitamins, or it's having foods like gluten, soy, dairy product, and nightshade vegetables. Those are the ones that need to be eliminated. What also affects your thyroid function? And this is very important: low calorie diet. This is very important. Why? Because most people go underactive thyroid. What is the major problem they got? Is weight loss. They cannot lose weight, or they put on weight for no reason. Yeah, so what do we tend to do first? Believe me, I've done that for many, many years, because that's what you do, especially women. Can't lose weight, that's it, cut the calories. And then the other thing that we do, chronic cardio. So go to the gym and pound, you know, the treadmill for hours and hours and hours, because if you eat less and you burn more, surely you gotta lose weight. No, if you got hypothyroidism, regardless of whether it's just sluggish thyroid or whether you've got Hashimoto or your thyroid is being removed, a low calorie diet will make things 10 times worse. I know what's going to happen in addition to that is your body's going to adjust to eating, to surviving on less calories. It's going to reduce your metabolic rate. Yeah, so if your thyroid is not working properly, your metabolism is already slow. Yeah, so you have add a low calorie diet to that equation, the body's going to go, oh my god, there's no food coming in, fight or flight, cortisol, stress hormone comes out, and not only you don't convert your T4 to T3 anymore, yeah, you start converting your T4 to reverse T3. Reverse T3, as the name says, it does the opposite T3, actually stops fat loss, slows down metabolism even more, because now all of a sudden you got to survive on 1,000 calories instead of 1,500 calories because you decided you got to, you know, lose the weight through dieting. Yeah, so a low calorie diet or yo-yo dieting is the worst thing you can do if you got underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism or Hashimoto, because it's going to put more stress on your system, and it's going to obtain the opposite effect. Your body is going to lower the metabolic rate, it's going to learn to survive on less calories, and that's going to be its new set point. So when you increase the calories again, guess what? You're going to put even more weight on. And that's something actually that happens to everyone, not just people with underactive thyroid. Is more pronounced with people with underactive thyroid, and it can take up to 6 years to undo the damage. You might have heard from the studies that come in from The Biggest Loser, where these poor people, morbidly obese, put through ridiculous workout, which, you know, those trainers should have been banned from day one. I mean, how a trainer can do that? You give them a massive heart attack. Restricted diets, none of them has managed to keep the weight off. Not only that, they found that the metabolic rate has dropped by up to 500 calories a day. That means the body, they can eat 500 calories less, you know, just to try to maintain weight. Yeah, and they all put on the weight and more, because that is stress too much for the body. You don't deal with that, with weight loss that way. Yeah, so low calorie diet, big no if you got Hashimoto, underactive thyroid, or thyroid removal, whatever it is. Yeah, the other things which causes problems with thyroid is hormone imbalances. Yeah, this is where I was saying before, you must take out soya or any soy product from your diet. Soy products contain phytoestrogens, which is a compound that the body uses as increase your estrogen level. Yeah, so the body they mimic estrogen. So what happens is they make you increase your estrogen level. Now, estrogen, high estrogen, hinders the thyroid function. Yeah, there's a few studies that have gone through that. They're doing a lot more studies to find out, but it was very interesting. I was reading about a study when they given a group of women with underactive thyroid X amount of calories a day. Yeah, and these women were menopausal. Yeah, and they were taking HRT, hormone replacement treatment, to try to increase the estrogen level back to where it should be. And another group of women who were not menopausal, still with the same issue with hypothyroidism, same amount of calories. And what happened? The women who were on HRT, which increased the estrogen level, yeah, put on a lot more weight than the women who were not on HRT, so the estrogen levels were normal. Yeah, with the same issue with hypothyroidism and the same amount of calories. Yeah, so there's more studies coming along, but there's a few at the moment already, but there's going to be a lot more research done on that. So if you're estrogen dominant and your thyroid, it will impact your thyroid function. It slows down your thyroid. Yeah, so estrogen is a big important thing. How do you become estrogen dominant? Is when your estrogen is high and your progesterone is low. Now, if you got a normal cycle, yeah, during the normal cycle, it will be a time when your progesterone is high, the estrogen is low, and beginning of estrogen is high, progesterone is low. Yeah, so that's part of a normal cycle, and that's normal. Is when you're estrogen dominant all the time. And how do you know you're estrogen dominant? But first of all, from your periods. If you got very, very heavy periods, yeah, or you get constant periods, you know, with 1 or 2 days break, yeah, you get a lot of PMS symptoms, so you get very tender breast, you know, bloating, pain, very, very abdominal cramps and that kind of thing. That's normally a sign of estrogen dominance. Yeah, you got too much estrogen. So there are ways to lower the estrogen naturally, yeah, depending where you are. I'm telling you, I'll give you an example. I'm menopausal. That's right, because I haven't got enough things going on in life. I'm going through the menopause at the moment, and I went to see a endocrinologist because my thyroid had gone really, really underactive. I couldn't work out what was going on. Yeah, so I went to the endocrinologist. She told me, right, I didn't even know I was in menopause. I was getting no symptoms whatsoever, no hot flashes, nothing apart from no period, which I was quite happy about, because I've been estrogen dominant for so many years in the perimenopause that it was a constant, you know, all the time. So when it stopped, everything stopped. I was, hey, thank God, I got a little bit of a break. But I didn't realize that was actually the beginning of menopause, and my thyroid started going down. Yeah, and dropping a little bit. And I went to the endocrinologist, and she told me your testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen are all at rock bottom. So it's the DHEA, which is your adrenal glands. Yeah, so and until we get those one back out to normal, your thyroid will never recover. So great, put me on HRT, natural form of HRT, bioidentical hormones, and initially everything started going well. But the issue that she didn't know about what she knew about it, but obviously there's not enough studies about it, and she wasn't up to date with, was the fact that I was on at the time a ketogenic diet and eventually a carnivore diet. So as I mentioned before, some type of diets have a low requirement for T3. So we were going by the normal range. She's trying to get my thyroid up to a certain level, and my hormones were were impacting that, and eventually got to the point basically when I had to come off all the hormones and let my body do what it needed to do, because with the carnivore diet it's slightly different. Yeah, so I've come off all the hormones now. My body's doing its thing, and my thyroid is fine. Because when I was taking the hormones, yeah, my thyroid started going too low initially, and then too overactive. And, you know, I was being told, no, you're fine, your blood tests are fine. No, it wasn't fine, because on a carnivore diet, I needed less T3, and I was bouncing off the wall. I couldn't sleep at night, so there was all different things, yeah. So hormones are big, massive important, estrogen in particular, yeah. How do you test for estrogen? Simple test. If a doctor refuses to do estrogen test for you, you can do it privately. They're not that expensive. They're very, very cheap these days. And you will test for what's called estradiol rather than estrogen. It's called estradiol on a blood test, yeah? And you'll know whether you are too high on that. And if you need any help with that, I can help you. Other things that cause problem with the thyroid function is stress level. Yeah, so I mentioned before, when you're going on a very low calorie diet or try to diet, you know, to lose weight, it creates stress in the body. Yeah, cortisol goes up, body goes into fight or flight mode. So stress levels are one of the things that what they do. They don't necessarily stop the conversion from T4 to T3. What happens is the body converts T4 into reverse T3. Reverse T3's job is to slow down metabolism. We are in a state of fight or flight, we state of crisis. The body diverts all the energy to the main organs, everything else got to go. Yeah, everything else has got to stay without. So lowering the metabolism, the first thing that goes is your muscle mass, because the muscle mass is the most metabolically active part of your body. That means it burns the most amount of calories. So the body gets rid of that, holds on to fat, because we need to hold the fat. Fat is energy for the body, yeah? So body survives on fat or on glucose. But you're cutting down the calories, so there's not less glucose coming in. The body's got to hold on to fat and get rid of a muscle mass that's taking too much, is using too many calories, yeah? So stress level, obviously stress level comes from everything, not just dieting, comes from lifestyle. So poor sleep is a big form of stress. You must sleep, you know, adequately. Switch off the bloody phones, you know, an hour before bed or an hour and a half before bedtime. Use Headspace if you need an application like that helps you to meditate and relax a little bit before bed. Whatever you need to do, and you need to have enough sleep. How do you know if you get enough sleep? Well, everybody's different. I sleep 6 hours is optimal for me. If I start sleeping more than that, I'm very sluggish during the day. I get very how do you say, I can't get the name now. Anyway, it's basically sluggish, yeah. So I feel more tired lethargic, that's the word, lethargic. Yeah, some people need 8 hours sleep. We're all different. Yeah, I do believe that when you follow a ketogenic or carnivore diet, you need less sleep because your body's working more optimally. Yeah, if you follow a diet that's really high in carbohydrates, especially sugars, it totally disrupts your sleep, and because your blood sugars all over the place at night. Yeah, so you may need more sleep. Yeah, so sleep amount and sleep quality is individual. Yeah, find if you wake up in the morning and you're knackered, you haven't had enough sleep or you had poor sleep. Yeah, so that's what you need to change. So stress through diet, stress through lifestyle. So it could be stress at work, stress at home, financial stress, whatever might be the reason. Stress through poor sleep. Yeah, but also another thing that hinders, impacts the thyroid function is lack of exercise. Now, the thyroid gets stimulated when you exercise, yeah? And this is a problem with most people suffer from underactive thyroid. They say, well, my body's stressed, so if I give exercise a form of stress, I can't exercise. That's the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do. The human body is built to move. The human body is built to rest for 8 to 10 hours a day. The rest is movement, yeah? What we do now, we move for 8 hours a day if we're lucky, and we rest for the rest of the time. Yeah, we're doing the wrong way around. Yeah, so movement is anything from what we call NEAT, non-exercise activity. Yeah, so it will be moving things. If you're working, you're getting the stuff from a photocopier, just any movement you do with your arms, with your leg, with your body, standing up, sitting down, to proper exercise when you actually get your heart rate quite high. Yeah, you want to do that as well. And most importantly for thyroid, is very, very, very important, is weightlifting. You must do weightlifting. Remember, with the thyroid, the moment your thyroid is in trouble, it will get rid of your muscle mass. So you must do weightlifting at least bare minimum twice a week. Bare minimum. Yeah, the rest you can choose whether you do activities, so you go for nice power walks, if that's what you want to do. It's recommended you do at least once or twice some high intensity interval training, so where you go all out for 30 seconds and rest for 15-20 seconds, all out 30 seconds, doing 8 to 10 rounds like that. So it gets your heart exercised as well, and it gets you increase your metabolism as well. Yeah, so exercise is important. Don't use the thyroid as an excuse not to exercise, because you're going to make it 10 times worse. Yeah. Liver dysfunction. When I mentioned to you the body converts T4, the inactive form of thyroid, into T3 in the liver. Yeah. So if the liver is not working well, yeah, then you're gonna have a problem with the conversion. Yeah. So, and the liver is impacted by a number of things. Yeah. None the least is fat. Insulin resistance and fat. So if you have a very high carbohydrate diet and you eat processed food or refined carbohydrate, or if you're diabetic, you will have insulin resistance, and very often you will have fatty liver as well. All of that impacts the liver function. Yeah, if you have a diet that is not balanced and your liver cannot work properly to detox. Yeah, and when that happens, the liver can't perform its job and cannot do the conversion. Yeah, lifestyle, yeah, stress and everything. There is a link between the adrenal glands, thyroid, liver and gut. Yeah, so when your stress levels are too high, the adrenal gland will immediately slow down your thyroid. Yeah, because it's your fight or flight. We need to conserve energy, and you only use it for the important things. When thyroid is slowed down, yeah, it will thyroid helps the liver to detox as well. So once the thyroid is slowed down, the detoxification of the liver is not optimal. Actually, very often is very poor. Yeah, and if the liver doesn't detox, all these toxins in the liver, instead of being expelled, they end up in the gut. Yeah, the gut is not happy. Yeah, the gut gets too much toxins in there. Guess what? It goes all the way back to the top. There's a gut-brain connection, and we start the whole cycle for the adrenal. Yeah, so it's a catch-22. Yeah, so that's why it's important you control your stress level, because they tax the adrenal glands. Yeah, and then will tax your thyroid. The thyroid will stop liver detoxification or seriously reduce that, which then affects the gut, and then the whole thing starts again. Yeah, so for liver, you need to make sure you drink adequately. Yeah, and I'm not talking about drinking Diet Coke. I'm talking about drink water. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is today. And the amount of time I got clients telling me I don't like water. Get over it. The body needs water. It doesn't need Diet Coke. It doesn't need, fruit juice. It doesn't need squash. It doesn't need Red Bull. It definitely doesn't need Red Bull. It doesn't need tea. It needs water. Yeah, you need to drink enough water. I drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day. That's me. Why I drink so much is, well, 2 reasons. One, I'm on a carnivore diet, so very low fat diet, very low carbohydrate, well, no carbohydrate carnivore, high fat diet. So we need more electrolytes, more water. Yeah, because with glucose holds on to water, while without glucose you don't. Yeah, and number 2, I train every single day, so I sweat, I replace my fluids. Yeah. But I make sure I drink enough. Without fluid, your liver cannot detox. Yeah, you can have a perfect diet with all the vegetables and everything that you like. Yeah, although the vegetable, there's a lot of issues with oxalates at the moment, but leaving that on the side, you have a perfect diet, real food, nice big balance, and you don't drink enough, the liver can't do its job. Yeah, so it's important you get a balanced diet with enough hydration at the same time. Okay. Good. So that's all the things that impact the thyroid function. So we cover the diet side of things, the things to avoid, as well as the things you need to make sure you have: vitamins and minerals. No dieting on if you're high underactive thyroid or Hashimoto, because it will make it worse. A low calorie diet. Hormones imbalances affect that. Yeah, so especially estrogen dominance, stress levels, converting T4 to reverse T3 rather than T3, which is the opposite thing that you want to do. Liver not working properly. Yeah, so it's dysfunctioning, and that due to various things. And of course, the link between lack of exercise and the adrenal, thyroid, liver, and gut connection. Yeah, so if you get those things right, yeah, and if you got low underactive thyroid, which is not due to having the thyroid glands removed, you can fix it. Once you tried all of this, if you're still not feeling right, then that means you need a little booster, as I mentioned before. It might just be 25 micrograms of thyroxine. Yeah, fine. For a little bit of time, maybe just 3 months, it might be fine. Yeah. How do you know if you need any of this stuff? Well, first of all, you need to test yourself. You want to test your hormones. You want to test progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. Yeah, as a bare minimum. And then you want to test your thyroid. So you want to do TSH and T4, which is what the NHS do regularly. But in addition to that, you want to do T3, which is the active form of the hormone, and your thyroid antibodies, which is TPO and TG. That's what they're called, thyroid antibodies. If either of those comes positive or high, I should say, out of the range, then you've got Hashimoto. Yeah, and then you have to go on strict autoimmune protocol, and avoid a lot of stuff, and that's for life to control it. Yeah, but if you got Hashimoto and you've got both thyroids working, guys, you don't need to go on medication. Yeah, problem is doctors don't test for Hashimoto. Why? Because Hashimoto, they can't give you a pill. They have to wait until Hashimoto causes disruption of the thyroid, so that you lose thyroid, your thyroid hormone goes down. Only then they'll give you the pill. Yeah, so they don't test for it, because they rather wait until something goes wrong. But if you test positive for Hashimoto and you still got 2 thyroid glands, you haven't had anything removed, now's the time to act. You can stop it before the glands go, because once your glands goes, you're medication for life. Yeah, and it's a constant balancing, because as I said, I'm menopausal. Yeah, so my hormones are going all over the place at the moment, so those are dragging my thyroid down. So I have to constantly check. I test myself 2 to 3 months every time, privately, because NHS refusing to test me, because they only want to test the things they want to test. And then they, even for hormones, they told me if you're menopausal, they say we don't bother testing you anymore, which is absolutely bull. Because that's when you want to test somebody, when they're menopausal. So you can do it privately, and if you need help on how to do it privately, there's a company I've been using for years for myself, for about 4 years. I use it for my clients as well. It's online. You can elect to go to a local clinic or central London if you're near London, and they're really not expensive, guys, and I can give you a discount because I'm an authorized practitioner through them as well. So I hope you found this helpful. Yeah, so on whether or not you need medication, if you don't need medication, the things you can do to help yourself, the things that impact your thyroid function, and what you can do to minimize those ones, so you can either not go on medication at all, or if you're on a medication like me, you can reduce your medication. Yeah, because at the end of the day is, the least amount of external hormones you get, the better, because the human body is, can function optimally if you give it a chance. It's all about giving it the right food, you know, reducing stress levels and activity, and then your body can work optimally. Okay, hope you found it useful. I can see a few people here. I've got Chessie, I got David, I got Marco, Jane. Hi Jane. I got Katya. If I can't see you, I do apologize. Thank you for coming on. Again, as usual, please pass on this information to anybody who you think might need it, if it's not for yourself. And if you need help, I mean, proper personalized programs, nutrition plan, as well as exercise plan tailored to your own specific circumstances. You know, what medication, how much medication you're on, what medication you're on, and your specific requirement, dietary requirement, whether it's belief or religious reasons, you know, activity levels and everything like that. I do offer online personalized programs, nutrition and exercise programs. So get in touch with me, send me a message, and we can go into that and privately. I can have a conversation with you privately. Okay, have a great week, guys. So I've now been fasted for over 24 hours. It's time for me to go and eat something. I've already been to the gym, and I'll hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.